Okay, this topic is 7 ways humanoids are stupider than animals. That's it. That's right. 10, no, well, 7 or maybe more ways that humanoids are stupider than animals. Think about that. Now, the kind of arrogant, assumption, or I think faulty assumption, is that somehow humanoids are more intelligent than other animals. To me, it's like virtually impossible to believe that. To me, the overwhelming evidence is that humanoids are incredibly stupid and much stupider than other animals. So, shock, can't see that. No. Well, don't have to believe it. Just think about the possibilities, look at it from another perspective. Again, another provocation. And again, my name's David Walton, and I call myself Professor Provocation. So please be provoked. And, if I don't provoke you with this video, please give me a topic that would provoke you so I can fulfill my purpose of provoking you, waking you up, and breaking up that soil and getting rid of the junk so that you can sow better seeds. So let's get on the topic. Humanoids, animals. Humanoids, animals. Or I would say humanoids, animals. Much higher, much better. They have more fun. They're more free. They don't have hang-ups. So let's go over some specific things, and there's hundreds of them. And please put in the comments below where you think humans are really stupid and really dysfunctional, really destructive, and just get in their own way. Put it down in the comments below. And while you're thinking about it, like, subscribe, and share this video with other people. And please press the notifications button. Now, let's get on with this. First way that humans, I think, are just moronically stupid. It's a waste of time, waste of energy. It only serves the purpose of those who, want to get something for nothing. And we know who those people are, or we will, if you look at my further videos about these kinds of subjects. Now, borders and passports. Oh my gosh. This has not been around for so long. There's been, nations and territorialism, this and the other, but people used to go all over the place. They didn't have this nonsense about passports and borders. Do any animals have some kind of bizarre idea in their minds where they check passports? And the criteria is related to some stupid insanity like where your mother dropped you off. And the made-up identification that went along with that. Oh, you were dropped off in X place, and that means you're in this territory. That means that you're slapped with that identity, and you are disqualified or qualified. How is that intelligent? That's not intelligence. That's anti-thought going wild. That's anti-intelligence. So, many people have citizenships based on what? Accidents of birth? Like who their biological people were, or who adopted them, or where the mother dropped them off, or maybe sometimes who their parents were, not only their parents, but their grandparents. Depends. Different countries have different rules, right? And all countries are made up. And all countries haven't been around forever, and they always change because of wars or negotiatings, usually by force, right? So, for example, in the so-called Americas and Africa and many other places, the nation states weren't there before. They were highly influenced by Europeans, like the English, the French, the Spanish, the Dutch, the Portuguese, and other Europeans, right? So now they're not free because they still have nation states, and they often have the languages of the people who crushed them, and they often have the same territories, maybe moved a little bit, and often their names are related to their, people that crushed them, right? Is that freedom? Now, I ask you, how many lions, tigers, elephants, hippopotamuses, deer, birds think 1 second about whether they got their passport or not, or what border they're crossing? Some imaginary, made up in the mind bullshit. How many? So compare the animals. How many animals require passports and boundaries and have nation states and that kind of nonsense? How many animals do that? And how many humans do that? Now, who's stupider? Obviously, the humans are much stupider. Much stupider. This is just, of course, one of thousands of examples. Okay, number 2 example, drug addiction. Okay, I mean, you could go to if you have liquor stores where you are, or liquor sold in supermarkets or corner stores or whatever. But if you were to stand there and let's say do a survey, I know it's not necessarily scientific, but come on, stand outside there and ask the people, ask the entities, ask the whatever they are, those things that are acquiring alcohol, right? Ask them, how would you identify yourself? Are you a dog? Are you a cat? Are you a hippopotamus? Are you a rhinoceros? Okay, and most of them would say, I'm a humanoid. If you were to give them that category, they'd probably identify with that, right? Now, what do they look like? Do they look like somebody like me or you? Assuming that you're a humanoid that's watching this, or somebody that would be considered to be a humanoid, though we'd have a later video on this about whether you really want to be a humanoid or not, because it's not physical. There's a mental aspect to this. Now, if you're standing outside a liquor store, or in some days nowadays they sell marijuana or whatever, how many giraffes are going in there? How many dogs? How many cats? How many bears? Most of the time, I would bet that it's mostly humanoids. Who's stupider? The humanoids or the animals? Now, if animals are drug addicts, if they're shooting heroin or they're on crack or, depending on marijuana or they drink too much alcohol, guess where they probably got that from? A humanoid. So left alone of humanoids, most animals are not stupid enough to be drug addicts, are they? Right? They don't have the neurosis and the psychosis and the worries and they don't have that compared to humans, right? Do they? Humanoids? So, again, humanoids are incredibly stupid. How many people smoke cigarettes? In some countries, maybe it's around 1/3, maybe more, maybe less. Hey, I don't know the exact statistics, but it's usually more than 1%, right? Do 1%, when you see the dogs and cats walk around, do you see them smoking? How many do you see them smoking? How many lions in the safari do you see them smoking? Maybe they're sneaking around, you don't know, but, in public, do they smoke? Are they smoking crack? Do you see them with alcohol? How many drunk animals do you see? Again, humans are much more stupid than animals. Hey, I wonder if you thought about that before. Put comments below. Have you thought about that before? And while you're thinking about this, think of all the other ways humans are really, really stupid. Don't have to be. And I'll show you how you don't have to be. And how, all the people don't have to be so stupid. And that's a great realization, because that means you can let go of all kinds of barriers and limitations and stupidity and release more power from within inside of you. Okay, third way that humans are stupid. Okay, body shame. Okay, so when you're born, you're just pooping and eating and farting and sweating and sleeping. Sleep, eat, poop. Sleep, eat, poop. Now, when you were born, when you were 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, were you self-conscious about your body? Were you saying, oh my God, I'm naked. I got to put on some clothes? No. You were healthy. You were mentally healthy. Now, later on, with the exposure to, stupid adults, dysfunctional adults, mentally disturbed adults, you probably picked up some guilt, some shame, some self-consciousness. Oh, my. If somebody were to see my nipples or my bum or my ankles or some such thing, I would be so ashamed. Now, it's understandable that, we could put on clothes for convenience or fun or to play different roles or because we're cold or whatever, or we're doing a certain activity, like certain sport or whatever. We use equipment, we use clothes. Anything is fine if it benefits you. But why are humans so ashamed of their bodies? Do you see lions with body image issues? Do you have, how many anorexic chimpanzees do you see? I don't know. How many bulimic dogs do you see? How many animals do you see body shaming each other? I don't think there's very many. Hey, put your comments below. If you see, a lot of pets anorexic or bulimic, if they are, guess what? Pets are different than other animals because they've been affected by who? Humanoids. Humanoids. Humanoids ruin animals quite a bit, don't they? I mean, they don't understand them, they mistreat them, they disrespect them, right? Which is an extension of how they feel about themselves. So, third way that humanoids are really, really stupid, dysfunctional, disturbed, unnatural is they don't have as much comfort about their bodies as animals do. They don't move as freely as animals do. Their physiology, you can learn a lot of animals by how they stretch, flex, move, right? You know? They exercise naturally, most of them. So who exercises more naturally? Who treats their body better? Who's more relaxed with their body? I would say most of the time animals, not humanoids. Okay? Think about that. Are you comfortable being naked? If you're not comfortable being naked, it's probably because of two main reasons. One, you're not comfortable with yourself. Two, you're not comfortable with other people. That makes sense because you don't need, most of the time, it's quite smart to protect yourself from the criticism, judgment, rejection, and other stupidity, ignorance, prejudice, nonsense that other humans might project into you or experience when they get, triggered off. Okay? But if you're ashamed of your own body, right? I mean, if it means you don't like what's going on and you want to change something, improve something for the better, fine. But don't beat up on yourself and don't attack your own identity. You can just say, okay, I am evaluating things. Like you could measure your umbilicus and measure your chest and your hips and, figure out your body percentage body fat. And if it's too high, you can reduce it, eat better, exercise better, move better, enjoy your body. Love your body. No shame, no guilt, no crap, no stupidity. When it comes to your body, be an animal. Model the best of animals, how they move and how they act, and you'll probably be much more healthy. They get lots of fresh air, lots of sunshine compared to humanoids. Okay, so that was the third way. Humans don't tend to love and enjoy and accept and appreciate and take good care of their bodies as much as animals do. Okay. Fourth, prejudice, which is prejudging. Now, lions, tigers, whales, dolphins. Pick an animal. Are they racist? Are they? How many racist dolphins do you know? How many racist elephants? How many racist tigers? Right? How many racist any animals that you know? Compare. I don't know. Survey some animals. Survey some humanoids. Humanoids. Humanoids actually act, many of them do, as if there is such a thing as race. Is it a biological fact? Think about it. Is it a physical fact? What are the differences between people? Well, what are the differences between bodies which aren't even us? And that's another video. And you look forward to that one where I talk about, bodies versus your mind versus your consciousness, things like that, right? But, it's mostly because of genetics and then how things are expressed by so-called environment and how we consciously designed our lives, we have differences in appearance. But like, how many people are over 10 feet tall? I don't know of anybody. And how many people are below 2 feet tall? Not too many, right? So most people tend to be within certain range, statistically bell curved, whether they're male or female gendered, right? Now, not that much difference. pH levels, not much difference. Blood sugar, not much difference. The genetic material, not much difference. It's just a different arrangement. Vive la différence, okay? Racism is made up. What racism really is, for the most part, is stupidity combined with cultural upbringings, okay? So some people act different than other people's in general, but everybody's different, okay? So there's pluses and minuses to all cultures, and there's a lot of stupidity in all cultures, so you can go anywhere in the world and you can find how humans are stupid and criticize them and ignore how your group isn't stupid. Moral of the story is don't have a group. That'll be covered in another video too, okay? I'll go in depth on all these things, right? I mean, if you're 10 years old and you walk around still identifying with a group, not too healthy, you haven't grown up. And if you're 20, 30 and you're walking around saying, I'm a German, I'm a this, I'm a that. Hello, stupid, ignorant. You don't see any animal saying stupid things like that. Okay, so prejudice is prejudging. What's prejudging? Prejudging means you have a preconceived idea in your mind, a linkage that's dysfunctionally fixated that you project into things. And you look for evidence to prove that. Okay, the most famous kind of racism, kind of prejudice that people think of is racism, right? But there's tons of other prejudices. There's ageism, there's sexism. It's basically any way that you or others may or may not categorize, label, and identify people, which prevents you from accurately experiencing them as they are, right? And it could be plus or minus or left or right or back or whatever. It's in your best interest to deal with people as they are. No more, no less. And also consider what their potentials are for improvement as well, right? But there's benefits to all kinds of so-called cultures, upbringings, groupings, and there's disadvantages. Of course, humanoids is mostly disadvantages, right? We'll talk about that more another time too. So, next one, we've done prejudices. The fifth one is sexual hang-ups. If you were to survey, humanoids in different places, obviously some places are much more healthy, intelligent, relaxed, free-flowing, and fluid about their sexuality. Again, it's really probably to their body image and other things too. If they really are self-conscious about their bodies and being naked and go, oh my God, my body parts, certain body parts, they probably are not that comfortable about sex in many forms either. They probably think sex has to be done just this way with a certain kind of person in a certain kind of way in, I don't know, indoors or, not upside down, not sideways. Well, certain sexual positions are terrible and certain things are, evil, whatever. Okay, so there's a lot of crap. So, especially amongst European cultures, oh my gosh, some of the nonsense that's been spread by European cultures to make people feel uncomfortable or intimidated or manipulated or guilty or ashamed or self-conscious or restricted. Come on. Like most people can't even talk about orgasms, let alone pleasure, let alone anything, right? And it's definitely not taught when kids are young because, oh my gosh, when you hit puberty, you have hormones. And when you hit puberty, it means by definition that I know of, the ones I think of anyways, is that you're able to have kids. Not by yourself, there's a pairing, sperm, egg, right? Okay, so you should know what's going on. That's also possibly a controversial subject for many, many people that have many, many hang-ups, which is basically, what is it again? Stupidity, stupidity, stupidity. Right, humanoids are basically stupid. Okay, so sexual hang-ups. Seriously, how many lions do you think are neurotic about sex? Going, I don't know. I should really think about having less orgasms because I got a limit. I should only have 3 or 4 or 5. I can't have 100 or 200 or 1,000. I know for a fact that women can have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of orgasms. They don't have to be starved with just 5 or 10 or 20. And many are lucky, think they're lucky to have 1 or 2 or 3. Yikes. Okay, so there we go. Sexual hang-ups, which involve sensuality, your body image, social identity, all this kind of thing. Come on. Now, sex can be taken 2 different ways. It could be you make it too important or not important enough. Again, stupidity. Animals are not freaked out about sex. They're not necessarily overdoing it like some humans might, humanoids, or feeling like, I can't, or I can only have sex in certain circumstances. I can only have sex according to the expectations, rules, and dictates of some, ideological, theological, pathological, bureaucratic group that's going to be my puppet, and I have to think, I can't show my body parts with this person in this time, or I'm too young. I'm too young, right? Again, a lot of stupidity, right? So don't just take what I say. Think about it. Think about it. Take your average dog, cat, wolf. Again, tiger, elephant, hippopotamus, giraffe, horse. you could go interview them, right? I'm being funny here, but do you really think they have as many sexual hang-ups as humans? And again, you got to ask yourself, where does all this stupidity come from? And I'll deal with that in another video, because humans have an incredible unlimited abilities and resources and faculties. The problem is, over all these thousands of years, nobody's ever had a clue of how does it work and how do we operate it so we can make them beneficial and awesome and magical and amazing. That's why I'm here. To wake you up, show you how it works, the whole universe works, get you become aware, understand it, apply it, and be the unlimited human being that you can be. Yeah, I don't even like the term human being. Just be unlimited. An unlimited, sentient creator, whatever. Okay, so sexuality, sex, sensuality, orgasms, humanoids have more hang-ups. So probably it's better not to act as a humanoid. It's probably better to act as somebody who's like beyond being a limited humanoid. Okay. Again, put your comments below. Agree, disagree? Did it spark something in you? I hope it's provoking you. Please tell me how you're being provoked, and please tell me how you might consider some new ideas and some new actions and some ways to eliminate, bypass, override, move on, forgive yourself for previous limitations. Remember, your first 6-7 years, you had no chance. People just dump garbage in you. All kinds of hang-ups, beliefs, conditionings, rules, roles, and identities. You got to rip them out, throw them away, and replace them with something that you've consciously decided is awesome. And you can bet that almost everybody around you has no clue. Okay? So select the best. You can't be an adult functionally unless you have selected the best. Okay, so next one. Bureaucratic identifications. I mean, oh my God, more insanity, stupidity, stupidity, stupidity. Now again, humanoids, animals. Humanoids, animals. Okay, so humanoids, because they have no clue how to run their minds, right? Okay, it's like having the car drive you. And it's totally out of control, and you go off the road, you smash into people because you have no control. You don't have your hands on the steering wheel, or most people don't, if not all people. They don't know where. So you need to know where you're going. You need to have your hands on the steering wheel. You need to know how to operate the car, and you need to know your environment, and you need to know how to negotiate or move if something happens, right? Okay, same thing with your life. Like I mentioned, the 4 powers. You need to have your hand on the steering wheel of your 4 powers, which is your language, your imagination, your emotions, and your physiology. And if you haven't consciously chosen it, probably all that is very much messed up. And the only reason most people don't notice how much it's messed up because they think they're doing well compared to other people. But believe me, having worked with all kinds of people at those so-called top athletes, politicians, business people, etc., they're not doing well, right? They're just not. They're just doing better than other people, right? A person can be incredibly stupid and dysfunctional and be ahead of another person who's just less functional, right? So, I mean, a person who has just a little bit of advantage can look much better, but that doesn't mean they can't do 10 times better, 100 times better, or 1,000 times better. Okay, so bureaucratic identification. So what do I mean by that? Okay, so, hey, I sure hope this will offend a lot of people because I want to provoke people, but it's not really offending you. Nothing I say can offend you. You may think it's provoking you or offending you because you have some weeds, you have some stuck, rigid thinking, some identities, some beliefs, some rules, some roles, some conditionings, or other linkages that are less than ideal. Ask yourself, was I born with these? No. Did I acquire them from other people? Mostly when I was a child and I had no ability to help myself or guard myself or evaluate? Probably yes. And even later, when you had the ability to evaluate has been influenced and programmed by institutions in almost all cases. Schools, TV, governments, religions, right? Okay, so bureaucratic identifications, things like somebody who is 10, 15, 20, even 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, and now age is another thing, but we're just talking so that the average person can have some kind of understanding. Somebody actually saying, I am a German. I am a Catholic. I am an atheist. I am a theist. I am a whatever. Okay? Well, if anybody understood the Bible's intention to teach a very major principle, I am is an identity statement. I am is the Lord's name. And taking the Lord's name is saying, I am stupid. I am a Catholic. I am a German. I am a Japanese. I am a Canadian. I am a... What the hell? Stupid, 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 stupid. You know, if you do that, or anybody says, they're not thinking. If you see somebody over the age of 7 saying, I'm a French person. You are? Really? What makes you French? You know, I had somebody, a teacher, tell me, so-called teacher, telling me, I'm Chinese. I said, really? Well, can you drop your pants and show me on your bum where it says made in China? Or do you have some kind of brand name that, you know, does Nike made in China? Like, what makes you Chinese? What makes somebody Chinese? Where their mother dropped them off? That they speak Mandarin or Cantonese or some supposedly Chinese language? Is it how they look? What if somebody is born in the so-called United States but they speak Portuguese and they look like they're black, if there's such a thing? What are they? You see? People like to, I mean, there's a convenience to labeling people, but is it functional or dysfunctional? I mean, seriously, do you want to be owned by a country or a nation as their property? Do you want to play the role of a citizen commodity where, okay, we own you, go to war, die, or get wounded or your head messed up. And you don't even, you know, and you have to believe in your cause because we're right and they're wrong. We're superior, they're inferior. We're right, you know, should kill them, right? Seriously. Okay. People fight because of identities that are given to them based upon ideology, theology, and pathology by the big 5, right? Governments, universities, religions, union schools, and other bureaucracies. Watch your mind. You're not Filipino. You're not Australian. You're not anything. You are what you are. Don't say, I am Canadian. I am weak. I am poor. I'm not the kind of person that can do so-and-so. That's an identity statement. You'd be wicked and evil and mean and destructive if you said to a child, you are stupid. Especially when they're younger, because they don't know how to defend themselves and they'll just take it in and act that way. They'll have to, you know, when they're 7 or 8 or 9, or with somebody else's help, you know, rip out that weed and re-identify themselves, right? You don't tell a kid they're stupid. You may say, look, your behavior, it's not appropriate. It can harm you. You can explain why, whether they understand or not, but if you are loving and soothing and they feel unthreatened with you, then they'll be fine and they won't develop the fear of criticism, which I'll explain in another video, right? So identity is powerful. Identity is the most powerful thing in the world, and the worst sin that you can do is say, I am X, which is not awesome. If it's not awesome, you don't say, I am that. And you don't see animals doing that. So how many tigers do you walk around saying, I'm Indian, I'm Japanese, I'm French, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Jehovah's Witness, I'm a Sufi, I'm a anything. They don't say they're anything, right? They live, right? Language is not a problem for them. And I'll do another video on why literacy is the most dangerous thing on the planet. And I'll explain why. Controversial? Hope so. Provocative? Hope so. If it's not provocative enough, put comments below and say, you know, that's not controversial at all, David. Here's a better topic for you. I'll listen to you. I might do that topic too. Okay. So prejudice and we've done that, sorry. Bureaucratic identification. So, you know, come on, guys. Only identify with something you've consciously chosen. Don't identify something because of accidents of birth and what's been imposed upon you when you were before you're 6 years old and when you hadn't developed your whatever between the ages like 6 and 20. Okay, Unfortunately, virtually everybody, even between 80 and 100, hasn't even done the most beginning steps to become a functional adult mentally, right? If you haven't sat down and evaluated what the hell was I influenced by when I was young, and what is the 99% that I need to throw away, and where do I get all the best stuff from everywhere else in the world? And then, of course, you got to go beyond that because humanoids are pretty limited. Then you haven't started to become an adult. You may be, 6'10", but you mentally haven't become an adult. And these things work. They make all the difference in sports, sales, business, whatever you want to do. All the problems come down to things like this. Okay, so again, is it really the case that humans are more stupid about this and that animals aren't? Think about it. Again, like I said, how many dolphins think they are Japanese or Fijian? How many whales think that they are Catholic or Hindu? How many lions think that they're Kenyan or Italian or any of these such things? Again, they don't. As far as I know, I don't know. You tell me. Do you really think they do? Put it in the comments below. And remember to share this video. Okay? And subscribe to the channel. Okay, so that's bureaucratic identifications. Which any of these distinctions you think should be made into another video or a series of videos, put comments below. Okay? So, another thing where I think humans are incredibly stupid, or they're just maybe very mean and malevolent or evil. Evil's like a funny word, but it's very much misused. So, and where I think animals have a huge one-up on us is, do you see lions taking their cubs and lining them up according to so-called age? And you go in this cubicle, you go in that cubicle, you go in that cubicle, and all the lion cubs sit like this, face a certain direction for hours, and they have little breaks where bells ring, and they're trained and conditioned like circus animals, and they're like information is put into them that tells them you are Japanese, you are Japanese, you are German, you are German, you're Canadian, you're Canadian. Canadians think this way. Okay, Canadians think this way. We're good, they're bad. We're good, they're bad. Where do you see any animals that indoctrinate, hypnotize, condition, install identities, rules, roles, beliefs that are almost all extremely dysfunctional and serve the interests of certain bureaucratic people who like to keep you a child mentally forever from cradle to grave? Okay, so do you see animals taking their cubs, separating them from reality, and supposedly educating them, not connected to any application or very little, and filled full of dysfunctional junk, and not moving with their bodies, and punishing them if they have imagination or emotions or physiology or excitement or enthusiasm, and make all them do the same thing? Do you see lions doing that? Do you see dolphins doing that? What do you see lions and dolphins do, from what I understand, and other animals, is they do functional things that are going to make a difference in their lives, that make sense for them. They don't learn a bunch of bullshit, and they don't have their minds filled up with crap, right? And they don't waste 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, sometimes 15 or 20 years separated from reality and getting their minds puffed up with bullshit where they sometimes think they actually act like they're superior, and then people reward them. This would not work with animals. They would be dead or sad or pathetic or thrown out of the tribe. It just wouldn't work, would it? Do you think it would? If so, make comments below. Argue with me. Go ahead. Talk to me if you want. I love a little bit of, stimulation. I don't get enough stimulation. Never have. Okay, so this is where I think humanoids are extremely stupid. Or some of you may think they're not stupid, they're just mean. They're mean. They consciously know what they're doing, and they really want to mess people up. That's another point of view, and I think there's some validity to that. Go ahead, write it in the comments below what you think. Did you enjoy what some people call school? Did you? being slotted according to age and never changes? It's dumb enough the first year, but the second year too, the third year too? Oh my God. Total insanity. I've been to I don't know how many schools on 3 continents, private and public, and I've never ever encountered anything that's even remotely functional, healthy, interesting, or awesome, right? What did we do? We didn't learn about money, except for how to be terrible at it. We didn't learn about sex, anything functional really. Not even how to invest, how to sell. Oh no, sales is bad. Marketing, no, right? Everything was biased and prejudiced towards academic superiority, which is bullshit, and we'll get in other videos, right? I've never met an intelligent academic. I'm sure it's a controversial statement. You know, I mean, there's lots of academics in my family, and I've just never encountered any intelligence or character or anything, right? I've encountered hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of evidences of insecurity, protectionism, avoidance, dysfunctionality, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, so animals do not send their kids to mental prisons, schools, punishing places for days and days and weeks and months and years and years. And they certainly don't use it as a means for social status or false superiority or dysfunctional crap. I mean, I don't know. How many lions do you see going to school? How about dolphins? Whatever. I mean, do they? I mean, I don't see this. I don't see any animals being that stupid. Please put comments below. Feel free to disagree. So that's it for now. I'm sure all of us can come up with hundreds more. If you like this topic, I can go into the second 7 or whatever many, and we can branch off this many different ways. More subjects to come, more videos to come. Like and share. This is David Walton, Professor of Provocation. See you on the next video.